Hello gamers, welcome to another edition of Tonight on Mage Hammer's Game Table, where tonight I'm continuing my series of solo RPGing with my own system, Delves and Dangers. Delves and Dangers, if it looks like something that you'd be interested in playing yourself, you can go up to the link in the description below on itch.io, and it's a pay what you want download. So you can check that out. And this adventure is taking place in my own home world here, the Swordlands. And currently they are in the northeast corner of the Bloodwood, investigating why many humanoid tribes and animals were migrating south. And they think they've discovered, the agents of Argos here, they think they've discovered what it is. It's an incursion by outsiders, which is basically from the hells, creatures and influences from the lower planes. So our team originally went in, was defeated with the exception of Fisto Twinklefoot, our Harefoot monk. He was the only survivor. He reported back to their boss, Glenessa Holdfast, and she called up some more experienced adventurers to deal with this crisis, because she realized the enormity of it, and they are led by Parthis Treeshade. She is a cleric of Mothis, the goddess of nature. She is joined by Brondor Vent. He is a human ranger. And they have some magical backup with Kurthal Brightpaw. She is a Fellcat wizard. So at the end of the last episode, they made their way to where Fisto and his team had been defeated, and they defeated the zombies that defeated him. And unfortunately, some of those zombies were his old companions, so that was a bit depressing. And now they've made their way, Brondor is tracking what he can of the creatures that have moved through here and so forth. And they may apparently have gotten too close, because they were accosted by this cleric of, well, I'm not going to tell you quite yet, but she is calling herself a disciple of Gurkhau, and Gurkhau is apparently the one that is causing this whole issue in the first place. Well, so she is accompanied by creatures, outsiders from the lower planes, and they, as you're going to find out, they cannot be harmed except for by magical weapons, and the wizard has spells. And Brondor here, who usually attacks with two weapons, only one of those weapons is magical, so he's only going to be able to attack with one of those. Fisto was given magical knuckle dusters to increase his martial arts prowess by Glenessa Holdfast, his boss, so he'll be able to harm them with his martial arts. And Parthis has a weapon that is plus 3D versus outsiders. In addition, since she's a cleric, she also channels holy power through her weapons, and that gives her a plus 5 more versus outsiders. So that's quite a few dice she's going to be rolling against these creatures, and hopefully it'll be enough to save them from them. And there's 2 of those and a wretch, these tentacled creatures, and a wretch, and then her as well. So at the end of last episode, they were about to begin battle, because her mission, her edict, is to stop them from going any further, to interrupt the plans of her boss. All right, so initiative. Fisto's going before. Parthis, unfortunately, is going after. So is Brondor. But Kurthal is going before the opponents. So let's see how this turns out. All right, so Fisto will not be able to necessarily, he might be able to reach combat. 5, 10, 15, 20. No, he's not going to be able to. He's going to kind of hold off and wait and see what his companions do. In fact, I think what he'll do is he'll move himself to the end of the initiative and act after they have all acted. So, however, Kurthal is not messing around with that. And he is going to attempt to put the cleric into a force globe. Now, I made these handy dandy spell cards And so to help facilitate action at the table. And Force Globe, he's going to need to spend 4, and then it's going to go against her agility resistance. And hopefully it's going to be close. So he's first of all going to spend 4 power points, and he does. Then he needs to make a DL3. Yes. DL3 casting roll. So at his advanced level of 6th level, he is rolling 11 dice for his casting rolls. And he only needs to get 3 successes, which he gets. I mean, he has exploding dice, but you know. Now, a globe of force begins to appear around her. She gets a chance. She gets an agility resistance roll to try to get past that. Her agility resistance is, I'm going to say it's only a 2 being a cleric. So she's going to see if she can break free and avoid that. She needs to get 3. So that means one of these is going to have to be a 6 with an exploding die, and she doesn't get it. So she's encapsulated. Nothing can get through that, and nothing that she can do can come out of it. So she is currently in the Force Globe, and Force Globe lasts a number of minutes of Kurthal's mind, which is 3, plus his proficiency bonus, which is 2, so that's 5, plus level 6. It's 110 minutes. So she is pretty much encapsulated and captured. There'll be no getting out of that. Then again, maybe he should have done the outsiders. So anyway, he is done. Now the creatures, they attack. And this big boy comes running. Yeah, and he goes after Brondor. So, oof. All right, so the little ones, this is just a big version of these two. So it's a little tougher, a lot tougher. And they have 7 dice attacks. And then the other creature, the wretch that's attacking, has 6 dice. So he's going to be the gray dice. And the other creature, the tentacle thing, will be the white dice. And this is the attacks on Parthis, who has 4 armor value. All right, so that is a lot of exploding dice there. All right, so the first bite gets through. 1 damage to Parthis. So she is down to 25 stamina. Okay, and then the wretch, 2 exploding dice. So also gets 1 point of damage through. Now the wretch, okay. All right. So, has no special attacks, but still does a point of damage to Parthis. Now, Parthis, now the attacks on, Brondor. Oh, and the other, the big thing gets, I think it has 3 extra dice. Yeah. So 3 extra dice is the gray one. Oof. So Brondor is wearing magical leather armor, so that's good. All right, so the creature did 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 successes, and he has an armor of 3, so that's 6 damage that gets through. Ouch. So he's at 13 stamina. Then the other creature got 1 exploding die. All right, so that is 3, 4, 5, and only 2 damage gets through there. So down to 11. Okay, now she can't escape, so she's pretty much stuck there. We'll let Brondor attack. He's going to try to get rid of the small... yeah, he's going to try to get rid of the small one first. Now, only his short sword's magical, and he's pretty sure he knows, thanks to Parthas's tutelage, that that is the only weapon that's going to be able to harm him. So, basically, it's... yeah, so 3, 6, 8 dice. 8 dice instead of 11 on this attack. Oh, a couple exploding dice. Oh, not any good there. So 5 against the smaller creature, and it has a 2 armor. So shifting otherworldly flesh. So it takes 2 damage. All right. Okay. So that was Brondor's attack. Now Parthas needs to make a strength check against that wretch to avoid the unworldly stench that's assaulting her nose. So she has a 3 strength, and since she's used to fighting these kind of creatures, I'll give her her proficiency dice. And she needs to roll 3 successes, and she does not. So she's going to be at -3 dice on these attacks against while that creature lives. So, as I said before, she has a normal 13 dice against outsiders and add 5. So 18 dice she has, but -3, so 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 15 dice attacking the creature that is smelly. Double checking its stamina. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. And so she attacks with her magical sword, the bane of outsiders. Not one exploding die. That's odd. Anyway, still a lot of successes, so that's good. So 12 successes against the creature, and it has a armor value of 2 because of its otherworldly shifting flesh. So take that away, and that's 10 damage. And that is not quite enough to take it down, but it is a substantial blow to this creature, and it screeches in an unworldly screech of pain as that sword bites into its flesh. Now we're down to Fisto. Fisto is going to help Parthas. He's going to run up and attack this one. He too is going to have to make a strength resistance roll. Since he is a monk, I'll give him his proficiency bonus since he's honed his body. But he needs to get 3 to be able to avoid it. And he only gets 1. As a harefoot, he gets to re-roll a failed die. Nope, he is going to also be at -3. So he's going to be only rolling 6 dice with his martial arts and his magical knuckle buster. All right, re-roll a failed die. And he gets 2 exploding dice. And that is 3, 4, 5 damage on that creature, minus its shifting flesh, which is 3. So it is definitely injured. We go to initiative. Okay, so 3, 2, 2, and 3. All right, so Kurthal goes before, Fisto goes before, Brondor goes before, Parthas goes after. Fair. All right, so into the battle. So here we go. So Fisto's just going to punch. We're going to let Fisto punch. He's at 6 dice because he is overcome by the stench of this creature. And gets 4 successes. Rerolls a failed die as a harefoot. 5 successes, -2 is 3. That's enough to take it down. So once it is hit, once it quote unquote dies, its connection to our plane is severed, and it goes, it is dismissed. So then he moves up on this creature here. So that's that effect of the creature still hanging in the air for at least another round before they're back to full dice. But all right, so that was Fisto's attack, and he helped take out that wretch with his magical knuckle dusters and his martial arts. Brondor's going to use his short sword. So we're at 8 dice. And he swings at that one that he's started to work on. And he got 2 exploding dice. And so he got 3, 6, 7. Minus 2 is 5 more damage on that. Still up, still fighting. The stench overwhelming. Not enough to quite affect him, but it's still hanging there in the air. And now Kurthau. Kurthau is going to send an unerring bolt at the one that Brondor's been working on to try to weaken it. Now, he needs to spend 4 to do an unerring bolt, but the attack is not reduced by anything. Even though these creatures are highly resistant against spells, unerring bolt manages to bypass that. So he unleashes the spell. He gets 2 exploding dice. And they both end up being failures. That's okay. So 4, 8, 9 damage from this very powerful spell, which is enough to end that creature. So it is, once it blinks, out of existence. Maybe you should have taken on this big one, but I thank you for your help. And so that was Kurthau. Now the creature. So this big one attacks Brondor. It's at 10 dice. Takes a big bite with that massive maw of it that it has. He's got 2 exploding dice. All right, so 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Coming through. He has -3, so that's 8. So he is hurting badly. Ugh. You can feel the pain. And then this thing attacks Parthis, and it's got a 6 dice attack, and it fails to penetrate her magical defenses. And so now it is her attack, and she is still under the effect of the stench of the wretch. So she's only at 15 dice only. Or did I say 12? It doesn't matter. Wow, that's a lot of failed rolls. But there is one exploding die. So that's 3, 6, 9 damage. -2 is 7. Creature squeals in pain. And now it is initiative. And I will say that the effect of that creature, since it is now gone, has been removed. And it looks like everybody's gone before the remaining creatures. All right, so Kurthau is going to run up real quick and do his best to touch Brondor with a healing stone. As Brondor is dancing around fighting this thing, he manages to brush him and heals him. 1d6 plus 1, 2. All right, hey, what are you gonna do? So he heals him 5. Even, I mean, it's just a brush, I guess, because he's dancing around. So, but Kurthau uses a charge of his healing stone, and that's that. So that was his attack. Fisto attacks. His has been removed, so he gets 9 dice against this creature. And as a Harefoot, gets reroll 1 failed roll, and that turned into an exploding die. So that's good. Yeah, okay, so 3, 6, 7. -2 is 5. Thing is still up, but it is reeling. And then we'll have Parthis will attack, and that is a lot of dice. That's going to be 18 dice. Probably not going to survive this blow. Lots of exploding dice, but I will tell you right now, I don't need to roll those all. This creature is banished, gone from our plane. And she moves up on this big boy. Alright, so that leaves us with Brondor. Brondor attacks. Once again, only 6 dice, because only one of his weapons is magical. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 dice, because only one of his weapons is magical. And that was only 3 successes. That is just enough to do 1 point of damage to this thing. It has not been harmed yet. So, okay. And so it attacks him. And this is going to hurt, I think. He's probably not going to survive this. 3, 6, 9, 10. Chomp. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Exploding die. All right, so 3, 6, 8, 9. 9 damage minus 3 is 6. That is enough to drop him. He is down. This thing is got in his mouth, and he shakes him around, and he hurls him over here about 10 feet. And puts his sights on Kurthal. Okay, initiative, folks. So Brondor's going to go at the end since he's down. Parthis is at 2. Felcat, 2. All right, so, oh man. So Kurthal goes after. Fisto goes before, as does Parthis. Parthis says, quickly, Harefoot, go heal our fallen friend. And he uses one of his magical, or uses his healing stone charge. Oh my gosh, he just does not want to get healed. But at least he doesn't have to make his death save. So that was it for him. And so now Parthis will attack this creature with the full force of her magical sword. The creature senses the danger of that sword. And that is... So that's 4, 8, 12 damage. Minus 3 is 9. All right. And so it strikes back at her. It does not like that sword with 10 dice. Bites. Woohoo! 1 exploding die. All right. So that is 3, 6, 7 minus 4 is 3 damage. She takes 3 damage from this creature. And that leaves us with Kurthal, who doesn't have enough for another unerring bolt. Doesn't have enough power for that. But he's got a couple spells he could use. He's just going to use Magic Bolt and hope that's enough to bring it down. So he gets an 11 casting roll. And unleashes a Magic Bolt at this creature. It is modified by its resistance, though. So, which is 6, since they are otherworldly. This spell's not as powerful as Unerring Bolt. All right, so it gets 1. Yep. So 4, 7, 9 minus 6. So 3 more damage from a spell. Yeah, Unerring Bolt's magic is such that it's very powerful against anything, really. All right, initiative. Brondor is up. I didn't have to make a set. So I'm sorry, I was going to have him at the end save it. So he stands up. And so we're going to roll initiative. And we'll see where he ends up. All right, so Parthis before, Brondor before, Fisto before, and is, yep, so Kurthal before as well. Okay, so Brondor is gonna heal himself. He's only got 2 more charges left on his second healing stone, but he's just it's gotta happen. So there you go. That's more decent. So he's at 9. He just can't afford that thing to turn on him and attack him. Then he kind of backs away a little bit, but not too far, getting ready to move in and attack from Parthis is gonna attack though while Brondor is doing that. And so all of her dice with that wonderful magical sword she has, plus her channeling ability, channeling divine power of Modus through her weapon, and that is impressive. So we have, I count 3 exploders. Wow. Wow. Wow, I shouldn't have rolled this one. 3 more dice. 2, 3. Yikes, spikes. We'll just cut that. So that is 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, no, 14, 16, 17. 17 damage minus 2 is 15, and that slays this horrible creature and sends it back from whence it came. So now they have to contend with this thing, this evil cleric captured in the Force Globe of Kurthau. Brondor is like, oh, I'm going to use my last charge for the day. And so he gets 6 more, puts him up to 15. Parthis is like, not a bad idea. So she also uses her healing stone while they're trying to figure out what to do. That wasn't great, but it's still something. All right. How long will that Force Globe of yours last, Kurthau? Well, I would say probably a decent amount of time, but not forever. Maybe another hour, or maybe not, somewhere in there. Well, will it go away if we leave? No, it should stay till its duration. Well, I don't like leaving her behind us. Now it's 4 of us on her. We could take her on and destroy her evil once and for all if you drop your globe. You're the boss. Yes, I am. Y'all feel up to this? Because I can't really hear her. Because nothing passes through the globe. So, well, I say we take her on if that's what she are, but now that her pets are gone, it shouldn't be any problem at all. Very well. So he drops the globe, and she goes, you shall all pay for this, and heads off into the wilderness. And the trees block her passage, and she takes off. Coward, not surprised. All right, friends. I don't believe we have too much time to rest, so I will heal Brondor. I see your wounds are fairly extensive still, so I shall heal you with my healing stone. That should be sufficient. Yes, I feel much better. Thank you, Parthis. Yes, well, tracker, that should be easy. Oh, yes, indeed. So I'm not even going to roll to track, so he's able to track her easily through this forest, especially because it's fresh. However, as they're making their way, I'm going to determine whether there is an encounter during the rest of this day. And there is. All right, cool. So we'll get on my encounter page and we'll see what that is. All right. 25. That kind of makes sense. Cool. All right. And that is, yeah, okay. So, they're making their way through the woods. Let's say they're entering from this end. This is another portion of the woods as they're moving. I can switch this around and make it all look good and stuff. That's good enough. All right, so they're making their way through the woods, and just out of the trees come some horrible creatures. The stench precedes them, and our heroes are accosted by the undead. But they have a stench to them. So Parthis yells, Ghastlies. I need 2 more. Okay. Come on, I got a couple more in here. Let's move this along, people. All right, you'll do, and you'll do. Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times. This is your first time on my channel and you made it this far into the video. I pretty much, I consider each of my videos to be kind of like a live stream. Like, this is the way I game solo in my basement, and I'm just inviting you along to watch and have some fun with me here. So they come out of the woods. They're pretty close, rustlings and so forth. They see a couple of them here break through the clearing. They know there's more. There's the trees and bushes are moving. And so we're going to roll initiative. These things are hungry for their blood. And the stench is pretty strong. So they will more than likely have to be making some resistance rolls. All right, so Brondor is going before. Kurthal after. I'm going to say they traveled a couple hours, so he regains 4 power points, because power points reset at 2 per hour. All right, and then Parthis goes before, and Fisto goes before. So Parthis is like, I live for this. So Parthis is going to get, it's going to be 15 dice instead of 18 against these creatures. And she just wades right in. She's not afraid of some ghasts. Now, she does have to make a, resistance roll, because they stink. And so she is going to do that now. Pretty sure it's DL3. It is. Okay. All right, so her strength is 3. And since she's used to fighting undead, I'll give her a proficiency dice. And she barely makes it, so she's not going to be affected by the stench this whole battle. Which makes sense, because she's probably fought these things before. And being an elf, she is immune to their paralysis. So that's even better. She is built to fight these creatures. So she moves up and she attacks. She rolls, as I said, she's rolling 15 dice against these undead, as she did against the zombies, if you remember correctly from last episode. All right, so she swings that mighty weapon of hers, and that is a lot of damage. That is 3 exploders. All right, so that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 damage against this thing. Now, they have an armor of only 1, so 15, and that is enough to obliterate this undead creature. It is gone. All right, so next up, Fisto. I think he's just enough to make it against this one here and attack with his knuckle dusters. He has to make a strength resistance roll. And reroll a failed die. That's not enough, so he's going to be at -3 dice, thanks to their stench. So that makes it 6 dice with his martial arts. So he swings at this creature. Whoa. Wow. 3 exploding dice. Gets to reroll 1 failed die. So that's 4, 6, 8. -1 is 7. Not quite enough to take it down, but man, oh man, oh man. That's fun. All right. So put down the remaining staminas to keep track of things. All right, and that brings us to Brondor. Brondor hears them coming this direction, so he takes off this way, breaks through his trees and attacks this one. He gets to attack with 11 dice, both weapons. He has to make a strength resistance roll. Yeah, I'm just not giving him his proficiency on this. This is straight up, he's gonna have to roll 6s on this. And he doesn't, so he's gonna be at -3 dice. So that puts him at 8 dice for the attack. Oh, he must have been thrown off by the stench, because that's not great. That's 5 minus 1 is 4 damage on that one. All right. Up and fighting. He's also going to have to save against paralysis. This could get ugly. And then they attack, speaking of which. So they have Ghastlies, have 8 claws and a bite. I mean, they have 2 claws at 4 each, so that's 8. And then they get a bite as well, because they are vicious. So I think what I'll rule is, in this case, that if they do damage, you know what? No, we're gonna do 8 and then 4, because that's the way they're built, designed. They are a very dangerous opponent. All right, so the bite only does 2 damage. That does not get through his armor, so that is good. Okay. The claws, however, and so that's 4, 5. So the claws do get through. His armor is 3, so only 2 damage from that. However, he is going to have to make a strength roll or be paralyzed. So he has a strength of 2. I am going to give him his no, it's just his resistance is... Oh, his resistance is 3 because he's a ranger. Okay, so that's not too bad. He has to make 3, and he does not make it. So he is paralyzed. I'll lay him down to indicate that. The other creatures, these two are very fearful of Parthas's weapon, so they attack her. This one attacks her, and this one is going to move up on the Harefoot, and so that is that. So this is going to be a lot of attacks. This one goes to attack, and then it sees that he's paralyzed. I don't know. I might have it start eating him. I'm not sure. We'll see. I know that sounds grotesque, but they are Ghastlies. So this is a first attack on Fisto. So the bite does not get through his resistance. And 3, 4, 5. He has a 6 thanks to a protection ring. So they do not harm him there. The other one attacks. See if it gets through his defenses. A little better chance of that this time, it looks like. So the bite does not get through. The claws, however, have an exploding die. So that's 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. Yeah, so 1 does get through. He takes 1 point of damage. And he has to make a strength resistance roll or else be paralyzed. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. All right, so he gets to reroll 1 failed die because he's a Harefoot. It's not enough, so he too is paralyzed. This is not shaping up to be great. All right, so the attacks on Parthas. 4 and 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So this is the first attack. All right, so the bite does not get through. However, the claws, so that is that many, -4, 2 get through. She does not have to save against paralysis because she is immune to that effect. The second attack, the bite does not penetrate. And the claws, 3, 4, 5, only 1 gets through. All right, And then the third attack, holding him off with her holy shield. The bite does not get through. The claws, however, 3, 6, 7. -4 is 3, so 3 more damage through. So that was a vicious flurry of attacks from these ghastly undead. All right, so now that leaves us with Kurthal. He is going to attempt a lightning bolt. And he's spending 5. And moves there. And he's going to fire off and take out these 4, hopefully, with his lightning bolt. So we'll see what happens. Now, that's 11 dice for his casting roll. And then an additional 5 dice for the PowerPoint spent. Wow, that looks like a lot of 1s and 2s. That's awesome. Okay, so their agility resistance is pretty high. They're on a 3 agility resistance. So this is yeah, that's not great. So 6, 7, but -3. They take 4 damage each. So we soften them up a bit, but the one falls. This one falls. It was wounded by Brondor. Okay, and the rest of them are injured. So down to that many stamina. So, I mean, it helps, but it wasn't what they were hoping for. And, oh, wait, no, that one. Oof, wait, that one's dead. I'm sorry. This one has been removed. Okay, cool. All right, so that wasn't too bad. All right, so that was his action. Now we're going to go to initiative. 3, 2, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. So Brondor, you know what? Brondor and Fisto go after. They get to test against that paralysis again. But I'll make them go at the end after anyway. So we'll get them there, and we'll see if their friends can do anything to help them. All right. So Kurthal goes before, but Parthis, unfortunately, is going after. There's a lot on her. So he does have enough for another lightning bolt. So he's going to maneuver himself. Since these guys are down, these 3 here is going to hit them in a lightning bolt. So he spends 2 this time. So it's only 13 dice only. 13 dice for this spell. And not great again, man. Lightning Bolt is not his favored spell, apparently. So that's 3 and 7. -3 is 4 more damage. Okay, so that one goes down, that one goes down, and that one is injured. All right, so that helps whittle it down a bit and gets him off of his friends. So that's a plus. And so he's standing there. Okay, so that was good. That was Kurthal. Now, she is going to take a lot of attacks. So we'll do the 3 bites first. 1 bite doesn't get through. Second bite might be getting through. Yes, so the second bite does 2 damage. And the third bite does not get through. All right, so those are the bites. Now let's do the claws. The claws. So 4, 8. Okay, here we go. First set of claws. Ooh. Oh. All right, so that's 3, 6, 7. -4 is 3. They're whittling her down a bit. Second set of claws. And that is 3, 4, 5, 6. So -4 is 2. And the final set of claws. Ooh, wow. Wow. Okay. Woo! That is a good hit. 6, 9, minus 4. 5 damage. Man, she is hurting. Okay. So now we'll see if Brondor can make his strength. He does not, so he's still paralyzed. And Fisto, nope. Reroll 1 failed die. Nope. Okay, they're both still paralyzed. So we go to initiative. So we're going to put Brondor and Fisto at the end. And we'll roll these two off and see if they can go before them. Oh, wait. Parthas didn't attack. I'm sorry. Let me have Parthas attack. All right, so that'll be their initiative. So Kurthal's after and Parthas is before. But Parthas didn't get attacked this round. So gets 3, 6, 9, 10, 13 dice. No, 15 dice. She attacks one of the healthy ones. One that has not been hit by a lightning bolt. And she gets 2 exploding dice. And one of those becomes an exploding die. All right, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 damage. Minus 1 is 14, so she takes that one out. Then her initiative, she's going to be able to attack again. So that is 15 dice. 5, 10, 15. So she swings at the other healthy one, quote unquote healthy. I don't know how healthy undead can be. And she's going to attack. Swings that massive sword of hers. All right, so she has, I think that was a success. I bumped it. 2 exploding dice. All right, so 3, 6, 9, 12 damage. Minus 1 is enough to slay another healthy one, but she is going to be taking an attack from the remaining one, more than likely. So she was, because she's the only one before them. So it attacks, so the bite does not harm her, and the claws. The claws are vicious, folks. Claws are vicious. 2 exploding dice. So that is 4, 5. So 1 more damage from the claws. Okay. And so, Kurthal's going to send off a magic bolt at this creature. All right. That's respectable. 4, 8, minus 1, 7. No, minus 3, 4. And it's still enough to take it down. So these ghastlies that have been roaming these woods are there. So eventually the paralysis wears off of their friends. And they need to do some healing. Parthas especially. She's just going to spend all 3 of her charges that she has left on hers. Pretty good. 14, 18. She gets 18 back, which puts her at 22. Still a bit winded. Stamina suffering, but still good. And then Fisto is going to use 2 on himself as well. Because he... All right, so that's 7, 10. So yeah, it's 10, which is good. Oh, he only needed to use 1. Because he wasn't as wounded as I thought. But he uses 1 to bring himself to full. The rest of them are where they're at. Okay. So, it's night starts to fall. And so, they start to travel again with him tracking what's-her-face, that evil cleric. And, but it's starting to get dark, and they're starting to get tired. Though time is of the essence. They travel for a couple more hours, which gives they travel for about 3 more hours, and it's starting to get dark, and that's enough to give Kurthal power points. So he suggests I have a spell that will protect us in the night, even from these most foul creatures, so we can get some rest, and I can continue at first light. I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree with you. We are pretty tired, pretty beaten. I suppose a night's rest hopefully won't mean the end of the world. Man, I hope you're right. Me too, my little friend, me too. Well, gather round. So they gather around in a clearing, and he casts the spell. It is called Magic Shelter, and he has to make a DL3 roll. It's a powerful spell, but not necessarily a complicated one. 6, 8, 11, and he only needs to get 3 successes, which he gets easily, and he casts the spell, and a magical opaque globe or a dome covers them, and in that dome nothing can pass through the dome except for those that were inside the dome when it was cast, and they'll be able to rest. They won't even need to necessarily keep a watch. Nothing can get through the dome, and then in the morning they can wake up, eat some trail rations, and make their way forward. So that puts it, I think, at the end. We'll see where they track to in the next episode. And for now, they're going to take a rest. And that will be that. So, making some progress towards stopping this evil. They've faced the evil face to face and know what they're up against. And so hopefully, in the next episode, they will survive and will finally rid the Sorelands of this evil. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support you're giving me. I hope you're enjoying these adventures as much as I am. So until next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Mage Hammer out.